Hello all, welcome to the Lunar Sea Spire Cartoon Fan Podcast. We're coming at you on our new day, Tuesday, for the first time. This is episode 273, and today we'll be talking about the first 4 episodes of Steven Universe Future. I'm GC13.
I'm Isabel.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm David.
Steven Universe Future. Man, this is just like a loose end tying marathon, isn't it? And yet,
Oh yeah.
the chest! The chest!
What was in there?
Rebecca! What about the chest?
Yeah, maybe Steven's still repressing something about that chest. If that actually... I almost want to place a, Lunar Sea Spire bet among the chest to see if they actually address it. My opinion after the movie is that they won't. But I guess I can eat my hat if they do.
We'll have three possibilities.
1, you put the dime in me pants.
Stop! Okay, no. In seriousness. 1, they don't address it at all, in which case we all lose. 2, it's addressed, offhandedly, and 3, it's a whole episode dedicated to it.
I think 4, it'll be addressed in a comic somewhere down the line.
I can't imagine that they would give that into the hands of the,
No.
second-tier canon.
Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe it's just a mystery for comic writers to seize on. Like there were 50 different people who stole the Death Star plans. Maybe there will be 50 different answers to what was in the chest by the time the comics are finished.
I mean, maybe it was the thing that made the diamonds not, serial killers across the universe, Maybe he pulled out of the old chest the old forgiveness wand that just made them, nice and forgivable.
Or a very nice ribbon wand.
I like how Steven went from never asking follow-up questions or investigating things to constantly investigating things to now just not wanting to know the answers at all.
Oh, yeah.
The boy has serious baggage.
Yeah, so I guess that's the overall theme that we've gotten out of the first 4 episodes is, besides the fact that we got set up a little bit with Jasper at the beginning, the only hint at all of an antagonist or just a problem is basically Steven's problem. He's turning pink, he's a little mad, and he's still pretty upset about his mom. And I like that development at the very end of Volleyball, where he just completely doesn't want to hear anymore.
They named her that.
I know, what kind of writer's pitch came up with that?
They should have been having a pottery class and named her Potter.
I mean, sure. Yeah, Volleyball, I have no idea. No idea.
Her name could be Volley, that'd be cute. Or just V. But no, they went with full Volleyball, and then Pearl referred to her as Volleyball in the show. She could have set up now the universal nickname as Volley.
Or literally anything.
Right? And she'd be... Listen, and it makes sense, because she got passed back and forth, so...
But also, we were already calling them Blue Pearl and Yellow Pearl, so was it really that difficult, Steven, to just call her Pink Pearl? I mean, I know we didn't call our Pearl White Pearl yet, so maybe it was time to give everybody nicknames, but this was kind of a problem the show was going to run into eventually, which is, even Yellow Diamond addressed this problem for us, because it was like, Peridot just saying Peridot's name wasn't useful information to her. Everyone kind of needs their own unique names. Oh well.
Why didn't we let her choose it?
He asked for permission. He's like, do you want a nickname?
She probably would have picked Volleyball, let's be completely honest.
Okay, so, Little Homeschool.
Yeah, let's do this in order. Okay, so Jasper was hilarious, where he's like, fight me, and Steven's like, you know what,
her.
fine, and she's like, really? That was great. Just the true earnestness in her voice. But then she has the nerve, right? When Steven says, hey, can we fight more often? And Jasper's like, no. Like, okay, this was for you, but be ungrateful, I guess.
I love her return to form. Like, she's animated and drawn with that kind of strength and anger that she had back in the, season 1 finale. And her complete refusal and shutdown of anything Steven doing is exactly what I expect her to be doing. And this episode didn't really set her off on a path of redemption, just like a path of mutual understanding, if even that. It's a little strange that Steven even said, he did have something to learn from her. He just kind of enjoyed his pink powers and didn't decide that they were maybe bad until episode 4.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jasper, why doesn't Jasper teach a martial arts class?
She doesn't want anything to do with all of that, though, even though it would be perfect for her to be teaching the courses some kind of
But if
combative stuff.
Steven said, hey, why don't you teach gems and humans to fight, right? Imagine Jasper teaching a kid's class of karate.
Oh, I love that episode already.
Oh no. She'd make all of them cry on the first day.
She thinks they're all, worthless and puny, so...
Well, maybe they would be less puny if they knew how to fight.
I thought this episode would also clarify what Jasper was doing underneath a blanket that we saw her, in the promo as being under, and this
camouflage.
didn't explain it at all. Jasper just reveals herself from under a tarp.
Like that. Jasper is just like that.
She was just waiting underneath a tarp until Steven arrived, which doesn't make any sense. I like, it's kind of like one of those little animation tricks where they were like, it would be cool for Jasper to reveal herself from something, but, don't think too hard about why she was under
There
that.
was a tarp in her little cave.
Right. I mean, I guess there's just tarps around.
I think she just misses her cape.
Yeah, but then she should have worn it. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
She is hiding. She's watching from a position where people aren't sure that they're being watched. It's camouflage, and she's watching for intruders.
Oh my god, it did
And
match the color of the rock.
She was disguised as a rock, David.
Yeah, well, Jasper breathes and, like, the earth shakes, so I don't think stealth is her strong suit.
Well, it's not like she has to breathe.
Yeah, so the voice actor for Jasper also did a lot of work this episode because she didn't only play Jasper, but she played the cherry quartz at the beginning of this episode, which showed a lot of range. It's kind of interesting how the nature of that gems have multiple gems of the same name in this show has led to actors like Jasper's and like Pearl's really have to do a big range of making each character voice unique, but you still immediately recognize them as the same class of gem. But I liked Cherry Quartz a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, props to Dee Dee Magno Hall. Like, put it on the record, Steven Universe was her first voice acting gig. Right? Before this, she just did plays. Her first voice acting gig, and she gives all the 4 different Pearls completely unique voices that can be recognized as
And you still know they're Pearls, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, 5, because the fusion also sounded different.
Oh, yeah.
Very sultry, very gravitas. It's perfect. Who voiced the actual rose quartzes? Do you want to jump to that? Because that was insane.
Lead character design. Nope. Where's the voices? Featured voices. Additional voices. Superfan Rose, Shy Rose, Hippie Rose, voiced by Kimberly Brooks.
Oh,
Who was calling? Everyone was calling her Blazed Quartz, which was really good. Okay, I loved right, like the absolute crazy bubbly rose quartz, and then the blazed quartz, and then like the one that looks exactly like rose quartz, who took it upon herself to be as cryptic and creepy as possible, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
The color of rose quartzes before, how they were all pink and like, so everyone just didn't suspect the one human or just the one not same colored rose, the one who like tried to have breasts and look like a white lady. Like, why didn't anyone notice that?
Have them.
She's a rebel rose quartz. Of course she's changing her appearance. She changed her outfit. She's changing her skin color. She's a rebel. She's changing her form beyond what it's supposed to be. Rebel.
Well,
end of story.
But that's not how because when she initially tried to blend in, she just did it to go hang around Earth, and she started off as...
nobody else knew what a rose quartz was supposed to look like.
So episode 2 is Guidance, where we get to spend more time with Amethyst.
And Steven shows that he has definitely lost his touch.
Steven, oh my god, he's so overbearing. It's really funny. I enjoyed it.
Did you have any thoughts about the first episode before we move on?
Alright, I guess one thing. The one scene where we saw Lars in his bakery, I noticed a little logo with the spaceship. Kind of reminded me of Kiki's Delivery Service a little bit. Maybe? Inspiration?
Speaking of his bakery, I actually went back to the comic and looked where he was dreaming about having a bakery, and unfortunately, neither one took inspiration from the other, so they are two completely different bakeries.
But were they space themed?
Yeah, both were space themed.
The comic one was too.
Yeah, but I mean, that just goes with Captain Lars, so of course it's space themed.
Yeah, the fact that the cool kids are on tour kind of weirdly takes them out of the show now.
Until the concert episode, of course.
The inevitable concert episode.
Yes, inevitable. I mean, I'm assuming there are more than 10 episodes planned.
No, there are, or else we wouldn't see like half of the villains that are in the intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we planned to move forward to guidance. Steven, my boy. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like he utterly failed to befriend Spinel. Maybe it's because he's a teenager and teenagers are just naturally not empathetic. Is that the message I am supposed to take?
No, teenagers are first experiencing empathy. Really. It's just, he just might be like hormonal and like too quick to hyperfocus.
But his philosophical concern here was actually relevant. So I do think it was interesting to have that, some people watching might have also agreed with Steven's conclusion that, hey, everyone's in their comfort zone and everyone's doing exactly what they were doing in Homeworld. That concerns me somewhat. So I think that part's fine. It's just that he failed to appreciate the process that Amethyst went to, that she kind of fully reveals to him at the end, or reminds him about, that she really took the time. She didn't just guess and match them up with what they were doing on Homeworld.
I do like that at the very end, Larimar comes along and, like, Steven did help one person find something completely different to do. So that was nice. And I guess since we're thinking about voice actors for the Rose Courses, I just want to say, having Radicles as a Jen is weird.
Okay, no, that was amazing. And the moment he said in the plane, I don't know about this, I had to pause the episode. Because he's so goofy, and I miss him voicing Radicles from OKKO so much. So having him be Snowflake in this really pleased me. He's just so funny. He knows how to be funny. I love him. Sophia's just sending pictures on our Discord of... Okay, so let's just go. I mean, not much happens in episode 2. It's a great episode. Let's talk about episode 3. The Rose Quartzes in what's the episode name? Rosebuds. They are clearly meant to be, just like we saw the amethyst and quartzes in the zoo be carrying towards the humans. These rose quartzes are on like a whole nother level of giving off that, like practically sexual tension and incredible over-kindness to the point of being flirtatious, It's Steven Universe future. Look, everyone's older. Steven's 16. Connie somehow, even though she should only be 14 and a half, is going to go to college in 2 years. So she's going to college way earlier than me.
No.
They're all ready to hear about this.
No. I had a very heated discussion with this with my girlfriend. You apply for college in your junior year of high school.
Really?
Right. But if she's 14 and a half, right, at 16 and a half, she'll be starting to apply for colleges. That starts her off in junior year. Yeah. I probably applied for college this summer before my senior year started, but I guess some people start even earlier.
Well, yeah, that's because
she's at least
it's due,
15
like,
by
right
now.
when your senior year starts.
Yeah.
So application starts, I would say, basically almost a year before the applications are due. You think Connie's gonna wait till the last minute? You think Connie Mahesh Warren is gonna wait till the last minute to apply to university?
Absolutely
no, the second
not.
those applications, she's getting early registration, right? Priority registration. She's gonna have to talk with the counselor to get more than 17 units. This is absolutely, she is not applying right at the beginning of her senior year when applications are due.
Right. And she'll do it all to lo-fi beats.
Yeah. Everyone pointed that out.
20 different people have pointed out.
Only 20? My count is much higher.
Yeah, I haven't actually been counting. It's been a large number.
I've already even heard that, like, people's own lo-fi remixes of Steven Universe songs on top of a loop of Connie studying, so...
I should look into lo-fi Steven Universe songs. That sounds really nice. Like, especially Love Like You, I think could be really easily made into some nice lo-fi beat.
I just wanted to say about guidance, though. Like, again, Snowflake Obsidian dug ice trenches for the homeworld armies, and yet we have it from word of God that before they hit Earth, they had never invaded a planet with sentient life, and therefore they had never had enemy armies to fight.
Don't even.
No need for trenches.
No. Where did that confirmation come from again? Because that note kills me. It kills me. It doesn't make any sense at all that the only thing they ever encountered were goofy-looking caterpillar creatures and the things we saw on Jungle Moon. Like, what was the whole machinations of war? What was Jasper, motivated to... Who could she have possibly been fighting for millennia with Homeworld if it was just a bunch of little bugs? Like, is she legit? Like, from episode 1, she's like, I tore out all the Earthlings from around me. And Steven's like, grass? Were they actually fighting grass on different planets? That's what their armies were doing?
I'm just imagining Jasper on her hands and knees. Like, just angrily ripping out handfuls of grass and throwing it behind her.
That's accurate. It's completely accurate.
I'm now imagining Jasper with a pair of gardening gloves and a little shovel.
Now I regret they didn't show, like, a pile of the dirt and grass somewhere.
Oh, but the trenches, like, think Titan, right? It's all ice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I imagine if you needed to transport supply lines on the ground, right? Trenches would help with that. Like, I bet it would keep them free of, like, wind or something. So digging ice trenches, I could see would have an industrial purpose. I don't think the Diamonds participate in trench warfare, a la World War I.
Back in the day.
That would be so awesome. Don't tell me you don't want to see the Gems fighting somebody in trench warfare. I would read the heck out of that comic.
Yeah, against, again, the colorful, stupid caterpillars that I already forgot the name for.
Comics can be whatever you want them to be.
Trench warfare was a very specific thing to the World War I era when this huge upsurge of projectile technology.
No, they did it in the Civil War. They did it in the Iran-Iraq War. Trench warfare just happens whenever firepower overpowers mobility.
I mean, the Gems used to have a way less sophisticated technology. I want to, like, imagine that past before they were using even their, like, drop ships.
Okay, but here's something. Here's something that bugs me as someone who has an interest in science, right? Like, we have all these Gems integrating into human culture, right? And Gems learning how to cut pizza and whatever. Why don't we have humans learning how all the scientific stuff that Gems learn? Why don't we have Peridot as a college professor? Right? Screw having to teach these Gems, like, how to eat. Why doesn't she go to, like, UC Berkeley and teach a lesson on quantum physics and all that?
I mean, you're bringing up the same problem with, why doesn't Steven start spitting in jars and they start shipping it out across the planet? Because apparently they don't give a single crap about the other people living in the rest of the world. Like, nothing in this show has ever said, do people exist outside of Delmarva? Because if they do, like, if they're Ocean Town, we just laugh about their destruction.
We saw Korea. So people
Jersey.
confirmed to live in Delmarva and Korea. That's it.
Yeah, those are the only two important places.
Delmarva, Keystone, Empire City, Korea, they're all over the place.
Okay,
but yeah,
so
wherever Aunt Deb
they
lives.
should definitely be teaching people, and they're not. And Steven should definitely be spitting everywhere.
New England and Korea. That's it.
And wherever Aunt Deb lives, which is probably Florida, let's be honest.
Florida's underwater.
Well, as close to Florida as you can get in the Steven Universe world.
But yeah, that integration, too, is kind of like, because all the warp pads are active again, it's a similar scenario to, spoilers, the end of, like, Legend of Korra, where more portals are open to the spirit world, and so there's more free movement between people and spirits. So why don't people learn more about Homeworld? Because it's not a dangerous place, right? Or, like, people could just get to explore space now, because apparently space is full of oxygen, as Steven demonstrates.
Yeah. It was implied there was a space race, that they sent a dog into space. Pearl said it. Out of Pearl's mouth, she said they sent a dog and a person or something to space.
Well, and people do. I mean, Buddy proved in Buddy's book that some humans are interested in what the heck is going on with Gems. Obviously, Ronaldo has proven to be accurate about all of his interests in gems. Where's Ronaldo? Wouldn't he be absolutely trying to sneak away and jump on? Although I guess that's a point, only gems can activate warp pads, I think, so Ronaldo probably can't do that.
You don't think he wouldn't put on some, horribly made gem cosplay?
And confuse a ruby?
Try it. Yeah, well, he could probably convince a ruby, I think.
Ronaldo doesn't care about gems. As far as Ronaldo is concerned, the gems are a mundane, boring explanation. Telling him the gems did it is like telling him that your elementary school's 5th grade class did something.
No, but he knows about the sentient rock people, though. I mean, his theory, at least in season 1, and even what he tries to later present on a chalkboard in some later season episode, he does figure out the gems, and he even wants to be integrated in it as being gemstone on the team, right?
He was later disappointed when he found out that rock people and the crystal gems were the same thing. He didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And the stolen picture of Pearl that he had on the front of his magazine, friendship restored with crystal gems. What's that meme where it's friendship ended with Moody?
Now Pearl is my best friend.
Yeah, but then it's at the end, it's friendship restored, and there's a thing with Pearl that's peak humor. But as a human being, right, who's not a beach city resident who apparently does not care about anything outside of their own beach city problem, I would be so interested in going to space. Where's Connie? Why doesn't Connie care about presenting all this space facts to NASA?
I swear she better not just be studying this whole season because she needs a role.
I don't know, but it's it's kind of a funny metaphor of what it's like to grow up in modern America, where it's pressure from teachers and parents and everybody. It's go to college, go to college, go to college. And then Connie's but I went to space, and it's that doesn't matter. Does space affect your GPA? and that sort of feeling you can have all these practical skills and knowledge and experience, but it doesn't matter if it can't be forced into the education system.
Never mind that she could just go to Homeworld and live as a queen.
And speaking of queens, that leads us right into episode 4, Volleyball.
Your favorite.
Volley.
I mean, just whoa. This was the best episode of the bunch.
Yes,
I have my complaints about the first 3 episodes, but episode 4 was just fantastic.
Underappreciated joke. Are you here to compete? Haha.
That was pretty good. That one gets me every time.
And I love Pearl being ooh, looks like somebody still has it bad.
Oh god, the delivery of that line was so good.
She's trying to act like this older, wiser, oh yeah, I'm over it.
Right, but Pink Pearl is I am much older than you. Which actually is a great callback line to, I think, Pearl saying the same line to one of the humans.
No, it was Lapis. It's we're much older than you.
I'm thinking of the beach party episode also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
The gems casually dropping their immortality on these humans.
Yeah.
Also, okay, no. Back to episode 2. Are gems paid human wages?
I mean, they don't need anything to live, so technically they could help solve a labor problem in the world. Because they don't need money.
No, because then they hire all gems, and then so they in fact exacerbate the labor problem. It's the same thing as prison labor. Let's not get into that.
You use them to solve a labor shortage. That way you don't create a surplus of labor. But the problem I had with this episode, though, was this should have been a big story arc where they can at least either show humans being displaced from their jobs by gems, or show how they're not doing that. At Funland. Funland was the perfect place to put them because there was a clear shortage of labor that the army of Quartzis was fixing. And meanwhile, Nanafwa has 2 new bodyguards. We have no idea what happened to her old ones. We know she had them in the movie, so it's not like they quit long ago.
Okay, but I mean, the logical way to solve this is that gems are paid the same wages as humans, but humans get a subsidy because they need food to live, right? It's like Social Security if you need to eat.
But apparently there's only enough corrupted gems to fill out just Beach City. So we're not getting into societally shaking things yet.
I don't know. Like I said, I do think that the miniseries or limited series, I'm sorry, format is hurting the show in that they just don't have time to spend on issues like that. That's got to be all focused on Steven's baggage.
If that's a joke, I agree, because...
You want the Crystal Gem Communist Manifesto in the next comic, GC? Is that what you're looking for?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have a gem read the Communist Manifesto and have an episode or two about the gems discussing the merits of communism.
You're right. I can't believe Cartoon Network isn't giving this show room to breathe to explore ideas like that.
Yeah, because the 8-year-olds, which are the demographic of this show, being like...
No, Sophia. 8-year-olds are not the target demographic of this show.
Yeah.
We are a COPPA-compliant YouTube channel. Everything about this show is aimed at 13-year-olds and older. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is definitely a 13-plus TV show, in case anyone
Okay,
from the
but
FCC
nobody
is
cares
listening.
more about communism and fairness than 13-year-olds.
Mm-hmm, exactly. 13 and older.
Yeah, 13-year-olds are all about the... This is unfair, that's unfair, how come not me, that kind of
but
thing.
honestly, like, Steven Universe Future is so much of it is about the integration of gems and humans, and meanwhile, you have a pretty big, important aspect of that integration, and you're just like, it's fine. Just hand wave any problems away.
Meanwhile,
even though you could milk an episode or two out of it.
Talking about hand waving and milking more episodes out of it, how about the reveal of Pink Pearl's trauma?
Oh,
the
moment that she had with Pearl in the little clam was so touching, right? You know, it's like she didn't mean to, but she hurt you. How did you stop hurting? And it's like, I didn't. Oh, chef's kiss.
That's definitely the chef's kiss right there.
Mm.
I do think the one aspect I wish this had more of is that, like, structurally, the way that we were introduced to Pink Pearl only at the very end of season 5, and then she didn't exist in the movie, and then this is her reintroduction and backstory-ish sort of explanation, kind of
2
doesn't...
years later.
Like, the thing that's powerful is merely the idea presented, but we were in no way truly attached to this character before, outside of the way that a fandom normally gets attached to just drawing pictures of any character that gets introduced in Steven Universe. But, like, we didn't have any... It's not the same as seeing Pearl suffering, talking about, you know, her missing Rose and grasping onto the grass, you know, back in, like, Rose's scabbard, right? That's a much different moment than this. But I do like the powerful relationship that's been formed in between our Pearls now, and that hopefully... I really hope that doesn't just mean that Pink Pearl disappears now in future episodes until we figure out how to heal her trauma again. Like, she should be hanging around with Pearl because this is a deeply meaningful relationship, but I just feel like she's going to disappear like Peridot and Lapis do because we can't fit them in. I don't know.
I mean, I was just at that very end there, I'm like, oh, are they going to make them a perma fusion?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but she's also like 25 feet tall.
Well, you know, if Garnet was 25 feet tall, we would accept that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if we don't have Pink Pearl in the show because she's difficult to animate, we're definitely not going to have Pearl squared in the show.
But is Pink Pearl that hard to animate just because the cracks? The cracks are hard to track?
Listen. I would be satisfied with just a couple shots of, like, her in the background, just chatting with others, or it's like, just acknowledgement that she's there. And interacting with
Or talking with Pearl, like, specifically.
Yeah, if I saw them both, like, at a table, like, sharing a cup of tea or something in the background, and then Steven runs up and is like, Pearl, I need your help. And she's like, oh, okay. And then, like, oh, I'll be back later.
Right. Well, you mean Pearl appreciating looking at a cup of tea, while Pink Pearl actually drinks the tea.
I think Pearl could drink tea. Maybe she
I don't know. That could be crossing into blasphemy.
Tobacco.
She just swirls it around in her mouth. That seems... I mean, she has... You know what? I'll take it back, because she did drink... She tried drinking for Mystery Girl.
That was tough.
So she'll do it for a pretty girl. Okay, so they will have tea.
Well, for a pink girl.
I think I'll try drinking tonight. Well, wasn't that before Mystery Girl showed up? She was trying to impress Amethyst, another pretty girl.
Well, don't even get me started on that ultimate ship.
That what? Is this the Steven Universe ship discourse? The Steven Universe fandom has had such a wonderful turnaround since, like, 2016, 2017, and that nightmare. Like, I have seen next to no ship discourse. It's been...
don't tell me you have
What?
not seen people. I never even. Apparently, people were shipping really hard Pearl and Spinel from the movie, which I have no idea why. And now people are arguing about, Pink Pearl and Pearl. You're trying to break up my Spinel Pearl ship,
That's weird,
and I'm like,
because I haven't seen any of that. I've seen, like, the people who ship Binaural or whatever being, like, really mature about it and being like, well, I guess we were clowned, and then just jumping onto the new ship.
clowned.
Right? Just putting on their clown wigs and jumping onto another ship because they had actual screen time together.
I mean, speaking of, though, like, that Pearl Pink Pearl fusion, which is dubbed Mega Pearl
Yeah.
in the credits. Like, can you get any more Utena than that?
Yeah. Princess Knight, probably.
All she
as well.
needed was a magical girl transformation. But oh god, I love so much what this show does with fusions, where they're quite literally greater than the sum of their parts. It's not just an amalgamation of, like, traits from, character A and character B. Like,
Yeah,
they're
which the problem is,
a
whenever
whole
you get a
new
fan fusion, that is
thing.
always what it is.
Yes, like, the fans can never really add, something new to it. Like,
They don't have the credibility that the show creators do.
yeah, and with, Sardonyx, right? Sardonyx is a performer.
Nothing like I thought.
Right, Sardonyx is a showman, right? Or Smokey Quartz, who's like a prankster, or
A yo-yo
and then now we
enthusiast.
have Mega Pearl, who's like from the Nutcracker.
Which, by the way, is also our first example of two gems of the same type fusing and not just looking like a bigger version of themselves. Because I guess we've only seen the rubies fuse, so this is kind of new.
And Topaz?
Yeah, and Topaz was just bigger
Topaz
too.
The same way.
Yeah.
That's what
Topaz.
surprised me about Mega Pearl. I feel like they kind of broke one of their own rules on that.
Well, they are different looking gems, though. Like, the topazes
they're
look the
different.
same, and the rubies look the same.
Same
But
color.
these two pearls are different colors, and they were wearing different outfits, so...
And different hair.
I mean, I guess I would assume that an Amethyst Jasper fusion.
Also, personality-wise, like, our Pearl is just so unique and has spent thousands of dollars.
She has bought her way to a personality through her
Thousands
incredible
of years,
style.
Please leave me alone. Thousands of years, like, making herself a unit. Please listen.
I'm just imagining that you so frequently talk about your immense wealth that just saying the word thousands makes you inevitably have to say
No,
dollars.
I've wasted thousands of dollars in rent is something that I say a lot. Because
Yeah.
I pay a stupid amount in rent. But, no, thousands of years. Pearl has spent thousands of years differentiating yourself and making yourself a unique person, right? Like, she's completely evolved from being a little, like, fancy carrying case, and now she's, like, a warrior, but also, like, a really awkward mom, and, like, that's so... Like, I couldn't imagine her being... Like, I think the other Pearls, like, only just are allowed to express themselves outside of their role, versus our Pearl's been doing it for millennia. So, it's
I think
only
this
right
fusion
that if she
captures
were to
that.
combine with another... Yeah, exactly. It's only right if she combined with another Pearl that would show. And it would show being something greater than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, and
A little
we
nutcracker.
wondered how fusion minds combined so frequently
Like, where'd
as
the
we
cape
talked about
come
the
from?
show,
Is that her
but
jacket? I don't know.
I like that they actually describe their experience together as being able to share the full experience and understanding of their relationship with Pink Diamond.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we don't fully understand that headspace of fusions, but here it actually represents, to me, like, when we talk about fusions as relationships, this was very clearly a relationship where that shared understanding was happening and two puzzle pieces were connecting. And I thought that was really cool. It's like, are they going to hang out more as a fusion just to experience it that more? Because that brings them closer than ever if they were just talking about it.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't unfuse, right after, how they warped back to Earth and then hung out with Steven on the beach as a fusion. And I imagine literally just both share memories, right? Because I think if, like, one half of a fusion reminisces about memories, the other half of the fusion will remember that. And you'll have, like, a sort of secondhand memory of it.
Yeah, as long as you're not Sardonyx repressing Pearl's knowledge.
I imagine Pearl's good at compartmentalizing, so she could have just not thought about it. Right? Because it's not automatic.
Right.
Like, you have to actively remember that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right, and I imagine Pearl was so caught up in the euphoria of fusing that she didn't.
OGC, is that a wrapping up statement that you were about to
make? I'm trying, Dave.
No, because see, I have all these other bullet points on my list. Fans, don't you want to hear about, did Pink get rejuvenated? What, that's a pretty crazy theory. Has anyone said that theory? I'm saying that theory right now. Pink got rejuvenated. Why was she so mad and crazy and an upset child, and then later she was a different person? And why did we introduce the concept of rejuvenation?
I think
Boom.
that was the trauma and the guilt of it. And I think there was a period where she didn't have a Pearl, where she was just alone with her thoughts and
her Spinel
really changed. And Spinel. We don't know.
Yeah, well, also, I'll say my theory's already disproven because then Rebecca posted art that included the words. It shows a distressed Pink Diamond, and her thought is written as, "Don't break this one," referring to, obviously, our Pearl that she has now gotten.
Bruh, post that. I haven't seen that.
Yes, this is brutal art, and it is definitely showing that she completely knows she messed up on her first Pearl.
Yeah, and it's kind of okay. So I'm really happy that they're showing Steven like exploring now a whole new facet of his powers, because thinking, what he inherited, he's still pretty weak, right? His power wise. And I kept like when he was first fighting with Jasper, right, and they were squaring off. Like I remember I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I said to her, like, he's a diamond. Like he,
yeah,
if he unlocks another set of powers, like he could pummel her into the ground, and then a minute later that's literally exactly what happened.
He actually pummeled her into the ground.
Yeah.
Jasper returning back to the earth.
What's interesting to me is how like easily winded he is. Like you saw just walking up a hill in the first episode made him tired, and just a brief sprint in volleyball, he was exhausted after that. I mean, something's going on. Our boy is not fully up to strength. I think this is weighing on him big time.
Well, I mean, still his meat body still needs oxygen to function.
Yeah, that annoying meat body.
I don't know, not much. How long was he floating in space?
What's it like breathing? Well, it's mostly nitrogen, what Connie says. Like, it's funny that Connie rants science to him, and he does remember some of it.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Which is really sweet. I wonder if Connie and Steven are official or not. I don't think so.
They're not hanging out enough, He's willing to just ignore her for episodes on end.
I imagine he's just so busy and occupied, like he doesn't even have the time to miss her. But we'll probably be getting episodes with her in the future, because I think that's another loose end that should probably be tied up. But
right, I mean, we haven't seen them make out in the show yet. Obviously, we were still waiting for that,
I don't think, okay, first of all, we don't need to see that, right? The children. I'm so tired of that being in shows. It's like, oh, they need to, like, play tonsil hockey in order for you to know for sure. No,
right,
please.
Yeah.
Like, they can kiss once, acceptable. But, like, we should have an episode, because, I think the show is very much about relationships and love, and I could totally see them wanting to drop into a theme of, like, two people who like each other, wanting to have different labels on it, and, like, wanting different things out of it, and, like, trying to communicate and make it work. Because I can imagine, like, either Steven or Connie wanting it to be official, and the other one being hesitant or not really understanding, that kind of thing.
That's actually pretty interesting for a future episode, just because also their relationship is special in that it started from a really long friendship. So that definitely introduces those ideas of labels, because they already have so much love as a base that it doesn't come as completely unexpected when Connie does something like kiss Steven on the cheek in the movie. And then...
Yeah. And I could see, like, the having to be like, oh, okay, now that we have a different label, like, having no flippant idea where the boundaries are.
Right, and then that's when we bring back in all of the Rose Quartzes we just met that have a certain energy to them, and they can weigh in on how they feel about love and those related feelings.
Yeah. Oh, I love those. I loved how viscerally uncomfortable that episode was. Like, GC, I can't believe you put it to the side. It was so uncomfortable, and I was just
Steven
screaming
was so
with laughter.
stupid in it.
I was screaming with laughter the whole time because I was uncomfortable, and I loved seeing Steven and Greg and Pearl and Amethyst and Garnet.
I love that we were already previewed with this idea too. Like the fact that Pearl was already thrown off by Mystery Girl, but now it's just so much more amplified.
Yeah, and the exchange that Pearl and Greg had, where Pearl was just like, yeah, I don't know. It was
But
so
just compare
good.
Steven being obviously uncomfortable, hey, you should come over to dinner! Versus, Vidalia tries to invite herself and Onion over to the temple, and he's like, yeah, we'll see.
It was. I loved when Greg was like, nope. He looked like Homer Simpson.
Well, that's always been his inspiration,
Homer's
but yeah,
dad.
his mouth was really accentuated for that.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm a head out. That was so funny. It was so... I loved it. I loved how uncomfortable I felt. It was done so perfectly. And then, Garnet and Pearl just being complete, and then Amethyst, and she's in the conga line.
Yeah, that conga line.
Mhm. So, in Rosebuds, you saw the Zoomins again. How were they able to drive the ship? Because they said they were controlling it. How
Well,
did they learn that?
that's a really great point, because also we didn't talk about that for this episode, but the fact that the Zoomins became in control of the ship, that they became really aware of technology, and that seemingly they were the ones to unbubble the rose quartzes, which Steven had maybe been clearly avoiding doing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he sent the order,
They're fast learners.
right? And he said, hey guys, why don't you unbubble the quartzes? And then just hoped to God that he would never see them again.
Right, until they figured out how to drive the ship, which apparently was a ship.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't
Mhm.
expecting it to go anywhere.
Yeah, I always thought with the Zoomins that we were going to have to address, like, reintegrating them in Earth, but I guess they already had pretty chill life, so, them just driving around space is
Yeah,
good
imagine
enough.
them having to work for a living. Can I go to the Zoomins?
Terrible.
All they do is, like, chill around and do, choosening. So, that sounds like a great
Did you
life.
see the Amethyst and the Jasper gossiping on their little waterfall
I
thing?
did. I
Hmm.
did. And Amethyst, oh god. I loved Amethyst, where every time she rejoins with the Famethyst is just wreaking havoc. Like when you go back to see, like, you're in college and you go back to see all your high school friends and you just make the worst decisions possible.
So anyway, guys, that's been us scratching the surface on
The
the
surface.
Steven Universe future. Join us next week. There will be 2 new episodes of Steven Universe Future for us to
Mhm.
discuss. Until then, though, I'm GC13.
I'm Isabel.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm David. Don't forget to,
Leave us a review on iTunes.
Later, everybody. Our opening and closing music is by Mark Soto. For more cartoon-related content, please visit lunarseaspire.com.